immigration is a top priority for President-elect Joe Biden. Biden plans to unveil a comprehensive immigration plan at some point today.
That plan will address a path to citizenship for the 11 million undocumented workers living in the United States. So joining us now to weigh in on the new administration's plan for immigrants is attorney and activist Cesar Vargas. Good morning to you, Cesar. How you doing?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here on such an important morning. So what message does it send that immigration reform is really one of the top priorities of the Biden administration, hitting the ground running starting today?
Well, it's a very powerful message. We saw Latino voters come out very strong in key states like Nevada, Georgia, Arizona, who went for Democrats for the first time in decades. So it's definitely a very powerful message that this Biden administration and Democrats are saying that we're listening, we're going to take action, and we're going to make sure that we take really bold action both on the legislative front as well as on the executive front. So it's definitely a lot of obstacles ahead. As we know, in Washington, D.C., there's going to be many times where this is going to be just stalemate, but there's definitely a ray of hope that we can get something done in this new administration.
Yeah, they're looking to take swift action. President-elect Biden, in fact, proposing sweeping changes. But one of the central components of this plan is, of course, that pathway to citizenship, which was debated hotly over the past 4 years. What will that look like, and who is eligible?
Well, we're definitely seeing a lot of the language based on what we saw in the previous times that the legislation has been introduced, like in Senate Bill 744 in 2014. So this bill will pretty much provide an eight-year path to citizenship. There will be fines paid. There will be definitely components that look very resembling. So people will have to pay taxes. People make sure that they don't have serious criminal records. And of course, we want to be able to ensure that this process is fair, but also a process that is rigorous to ensure that all the community can have an opportunity to apply. So we'll definitely have a lot of language, but details matter in this aspect. And we got to make sure that we actually see the bill, that we see how it's going to be implemented, when it's going to be implemented.
So, aside from reinstating the DACA program, which is huge, there's also expanded protections for DACA recipients as well as dreamers. So kind of lay it out in the groundwork and explain what they are and when they will go into effect and how many people that will actually impact.
Well, in New York State in general, there's about 28,000 DACA recipients that will see DACA being pretty much reinstated. So there's not going to be a lot of major action just because the Supreme Court and lower courts have already ruled that the DACA program is legal. So what this administration is going to do is affirm that this new president is upholding this program, and it will continue indefinitely. Of course, the big question is what's going to happen to dreamers and whether they're going to have an expedited path to citizenship and how fast they will be able to get that citizenship. So it will not change drastically because people will still have the protection, and we already have new dreamers who will be able to apply under what we saw from the court decision. But it's still a very big moment. And what really matters is really that permanent solution for a path to citizenship, because DACA does not provide that.
Well, during President Biden's first 10 days in office, in fact, there's also plans to reunite families at the U.S.-Mexico border. This could be very emotional. How many families are going to be impacted by this?
Well, that as we saw, that was a bit controversial, and we saw the the Trump administration being a culprit of that. So we're hoping that there's still 545 children who have not been reunited, and we're hoping that and it's very difficult because people have already pretty much disappeared at times in their home countries, and we don't have the resources right now to reunite them. So it's definitely going to be a significant moment, and this is where the other component of the Biden administration immigration plan will be helpful, because they're going to be allocating grants of millions of dollars to these countries to ensure that there's an effort to reunite those families, but also there's an effort to address the root causes of forced migration that forces people to leave their homeland from Latin America and across the world. Especially as the migrant caravan coming up, we definitely need to address really the root causes and make sure that people are not leaving their home country, risking their lives and at times dying to come to the United States.
Important day, Cesar. A lot to come in this new administration. We appreciate you being with us today.